The last thing that you need in a UV, it's you have to create a UV and export a UV as a texture to Photoshop or other software that you need. For doing that, first you have to go to the layer and create a UV mesh layer or outline polygon. It means it's create a paint over these meshes, it's create outline and it's export the texture, and then you can go to the file and save texture as. But you can see they are turned off because you have to create a texture material. In the material you have to go to the texture, you have to create a new texture. This is an body paint workflow. So you can double your texture or do any texture that you want. For example, 2K the resolution, you can increase or decrease of any number that you want, but hit OK. You can see it created texturing here for you. Yeah, okay. It's a black, but you can assign any color after that in the Photoshop. You have to assign this to the head. You can assign this to the head, and you can make it paintable. If you click on that, then you can paint on it in the you can paint on it on for example brush. You can paint anything or you can export it on a Photoshop. So it's ready. Then you can go to the layer and it's very simple. It's create a UV layer. For example, create UV mesh layer. You can see it's create a mesh out of the UVs, and then you can export it. You can see that. You can go and save your texture as and open in your software. Okay, if you go to the file here and save texture as, then you can select any other thing that you want. For example, the PSD is okay, and then save anywhere in your PC. For example, in Affinity Designer, I have a lots of playlists about the Affinity Design. You can refer to my playlist, and you can see it's create a texture out of and the UVs that you can paint and create texture on top of these. For example, a simple text TC. Then you can change the color. Copy this. For example, you can create a texture, and then you can save it again. Okay, then you can come to your texture again. You can delete texture, empty, and you can go to the file and open texture again, or because the UV is it's correct, you can assign another material to that, for example, and its color in the texture. You can load your texture from your PC that you created in Affinity Designer. And don't forget to turn off the this mesh layer. I forget that. Turn it off because it's snapping to that. Or you can assign any background that you want. Create any background, any color, anything that you want in your, and save it. Not Affinity, exactly the PSD file. You can save as a PSD file or any PNG or JPEG. Load it again. This work is for knowing the position of the, for understanding the position of the UVs and just make a texture on top of them. So that's correct, and you can see it's correctly assigned on all your object. And you can come here and see the texture it was. Okay, can make it editable. You can, if you want to see in your UV, you have to make it editable from here. And now you can see your JPEG comes here. I don't know why, but you can have to make it editable. It means you can paint on it anywhere that you want. You can see. So it's a simple workflow to exporting a UV outside of other software. But don't forget, these are UV mesh layer that you created. And also, you can go to, on top of this texture, you can go to this model and double click and select it. And you can, instead of that, create an outline polygon. It's create an outline instead of the full mesh. You can do that. But you have to select your all of the UV polygons, and we can fill the polygons with simple color and then export it, or just create the outline of everything. And then you can go to the texture and save texture as PSD, of course, because in other software we want to, it has a different layer to turn it on. And you can brush or anything that's powerful to your software, Photoshop, Affinity Designer, and texture it, and then bring it back in your Cinema 4D file, and you can see such these things. But you can see in this case, I forget to turn these layers off. Okay, that's it. Please don't forget to visit our TutorialCells apps channel. In this channel, we are introducing Android application and learn how to use them.